That's great.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
great.
Thank you.
Bye again.
Bye.
Don't leave the house. Okay.
That was good.
Okay, so I'm going to start, and hopefully a few people will join us that are not here now. Um, I'm sorry for the beginning of this is really difficult. Um, okay, I sent everyone a email which had to do with recent news on my part, and one of the recent news is an exhibit at the Center for Brooklyn History
Oh,
in Brooklyn, in which a drawing of mine, Nocturne, is on display. Now, the funny thing about this exhibit is I didn't know about it. And it started in April, and
huh.
it's continuing until the end of next April.
Oh.
And uh, the drawing that I have on display is one of the strongest drawings of mine, and it's called Nocturne. And this drawing was donated to the Center for Brooklyn History by a woman named Lucy Nurksey, who owned the drawing. Unfortunately, Lucy didn't tell me about this, and the center didn't tell me that this was on exhibit. And I found out about this because a friend of Simona went to see the exhibit and was very struck by the drawing,
Mhm.
got in touch with Simona, and then Simona wrote to me and said, "Do you know anything about this?"
Good.
And I didn't know anything about it. And um, I knew that this woman was perhaps moving to California and was thinking of downsizing her possessions, but I didn't know about this. So, so it's in this exhibit, and they must have some very good people who have worked on presenting exhibits and writing the attributions, because the attribution for the drawing is extremely good,
Mm.
extremely expressive, and and then a few days ago, Simona went to see the exhibit, and I haven't seen it yet. I think I'll be able to go on Friday, but Simona went to see it, and she thought it was very good. And she said the interesting thing was that they've tied up the exhibit to immigration in Brooklyn.
Oh,
And there's a very large sign up right by the drawing which describes the Polish immigration to Brooklyn.
hmm.
Uh, so the reason this is very exciting is that this drawing has multiple realities in it, and and it's the first drawing that used that. So, in other words, it shows a man that's sitting by a window, and in the sky overhead, there are different images that he showed me or talked to me about, which had to do with Poland and Gdansk.
Hmm.
Renee, could you make it a little lower? Renee? Okay. Um, so, um, So anyway, I don't want to go on and on about it, but it was a breakthrough drawing, and it resulted in other drawings like that where imagery appears overhead or
Hmm.
represents and the reason it was new and different is that I couldn't convey what I wanted to convey about this man. because he was so complicated. In other words, he was neither in Brooklyn nor in Poland. And so I was very frustrated by that because I really liked this man. He's very interesting looking and very far away. And
Hmm.
so I thought of this idea. And so in a sense, if I saw this correctly, it was adding something to the figurative direction. Okay. For me and for other figurative artists. Um, okay. So in that notice that I sent to you, there's also a part, I think part three has prints in it. If any of those prints are interesting to you, I hope you get it back in touch, or if you have a question about it. There's quite a few of them, and they vary from very tiny ones to very large ones. Tiny being like 6 inches,
Hmm.
6 or 10 inches to 7 feet. Okay. So I also wanted to mention that the spring term would start in, I think, March, early March or late February. I haven't sort of figured that out. But someone wrote to me, I think it was John, and he asked about what I would be covering next term. And I don't have it clear in my head, but here's a few ideas that I thought of. One was the um, Finnish artist, Helene Schurfbeck, that I wrote to you about, who's very, very interesting. And then the other thought I had was to do a presentation in a class or two on to sleep to dream, something I'm interested in, to sleep to dream, and showing images of sleep and dream. Um, there's an exhibit in Philadelphia at the Barnes Collection that runs until January or February of next year on Henri Rousseau, which is like a real
Read.
favorite of mine.
Hmm.
So that would be good. There's an exhibit that is opening soon, I believe at the Whitney Museum, of a woman named Joan Semmel, Semmel. I haven't seen that much of her work in person, but I like her work, and it deals with the female figure from the point of a woman, from the point of view of a woman. And many of these figures are nude or um, erotic, but they are from her point of view. And then the last one I thought of was Caravaggio, which I had seen an exhibit earlier this year, and I thought of doing it this term,
Right.
but ran out of space.
Right.
So those are five topics, and we really basically don't get to five. But sometimes there's a surprise that happens, for instance, with this Gillespie exhibit, which I thought was a surprise and I thought to go for. So anyway, so I'm going to try to um, share the screen and go to your the pictures you sent. Um, except if you have a question or a thought. Okay, so let me do that.
Did we lose him again?
No, I don't think so. I think he went to ask Renee a question.
I think a
Here
technical
comes Renee, yes.
is
Right here. See those two arrows went up and went down?
Oh, those. Oh, okay. Okay. And then when I get to the one I want, what do I do?
Did it.
mm,
Um, hmm. Okay. I hate to tell you this, but there's something wrong with these images that were put on. Um, I think we're just going to have to proceed, and you'll have to just describe the images because these are for the first class that we did, and they don't go up to the class. They don't go through the next two classes. So I don't have the right images to share. So, John, you should go and just describe left and right what you are talking about. I'm sorry. It would take too long to send these to me. I think it would take too long.
Simon,
Yeah.
just one idea is if people have their own images, I don't know if people have that or not, and you allowed screen sharing, people could share them from their computers.
Okay. Well, how
How
would
do
I
we
do
do
that?
that?
How would I do that?
If you um if you go to share,
Um,
see at the bottom there's an icon in the middle that says share.
um,
it's green.
on the screen.
On the bottom
Oh,
of
at
the
the bottom,
Zoom
toolbar
page,
below.
the black toolbar at the bottom of Zoom.
I have it on the top. It says
Okay.
you are screen sharing.
Oh, so if you um
Mm, that's not it.
click on
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on.
I I can request to share.
The problem is that the the we transfer that I transferred
Send her.
was the wrong one, was the first one.
What am I supposed to do?
No, but Kristen thinks she can fix that. Okay.
Okay.
Go over here. So Kristen, could you tell this to Renee?
The only thing I suggested was if people have their own images on their computer screen,
Oh,
if
just to show it, right?
yeah, if Simon shares the
The host, right?
yeah,
Okay.
it isn't even the host. If you go to the bottom of the Zoom along the bottom where all the icons are, participants, chat, react, and share. You
Mhm.
see share. You click on share, there should be an option to allow all participants to share their screen or
Okay,
something
I'm
like
gonna
that.
have to stop the share first.
Have the option. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we
Wait,
go.
where's that, Simon?
This green button here.
This, okay. All right, and then multiple participants can share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry for tonight. This is
I
Okay.
to copy
Oh, good.
my painting and I pasted it on the chat,
Oh,
and
that's a good idea too.
that's fairly easy.
um,
Can you see it in the chat?
don't give Simon anything too complicated.
Oh, the chat is very easy. You click on chat.
Mhm.
Okay, but you can't see it, right? Because you have to do screen, you
I've
have to screen
lost
share.
my,
Yeah, you can
We
see
can
it in
see
the
it.
chat. I can see it
where in chat?
in
Yeah, if you
chat.
put it in
Yeah.
chat, you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Does it format the painting to fit the chat?
Mm,
I'll
it.
just drag it over and see what happens.
So what I did, I took a screenshot and copied it into the chat. That's what I did on my iPad.
Oh,
I'm gonna be figure that out.
yeah.
Sure how I could do that either.
Let me see, maybe there's something here.
I mean, I have a Word document that has the two paintings, but I don't know how to share it.
Maybe we could, I have it in my phone. If I just held it up to the camera.
Well, you could do that. Yeah.
What's happening?
I don't know how good that'll be.
It's Sylvia's turn?
No, it's John.
So,
John's.
so why is
Oh, what's
Sylvia's?
that?
She's just showing you.
That's Anna's.
Oh. So
Yeah, I can see that.
How did you do that,
It's
Anna?
pretty easy. You just pick up your picture and I just put it in there.
Oh,
What do you
I
mean you
was
picked?
really, I picked it up. I put my mouse on it and I dragged it and just put it in there as if I was chatting.
Just
Oh.
drag and drop, drag and
Yeah,
drop.
that's
Oh.
all I did. Yeah.
Okay.
oh, wait a minute.
And then you
Not
can click
working.
on it at your home and you can make it big, which is very cool. Yeah, I have another one. Gonna do that.
I don't know why mine isn't dropping. Oh, well.
Yeah.
So what am I doing?
I don't know if.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I put it in my message. My message is going to include my paintings. Yeah.
How do you do that?
You just, in the message at the
New
bottom
chat?
of the chat where you're going to write
Yeah.
something, instead of writing something, just drag your photo over to it.
Oh my. What time is it? I was gonna think if you could quickly send,
7:50.
if you could quickly retransfer the
Yeah,
other.
mine just went.
Yeah,
Those are mine too. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's populating.
Yeah.
I think this might be the easiest way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not able to do it.
No.
You have your photos, you have your photos
If you
available?
copy it, I copied it and from a Word document and then just put it in my chat.
I didn't even have to, I have it in a Word document too, and I didn't have to copy it. All I had to do was drag it.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Who was the first person who was going to be sharing?
I don't know.
I don't know. Looks like Sylvia
Or
had.
John, you were the first, I think.
I could be the first, but I'm having an issue on my end here where I can't open my file.
Oh,
I don't know why. It's an Acrobat issue. I don't know what the hell. Maybe it's happening.
Simon is trying to do
Okay.
another WeTransfer quickly. I didn't know the wrong one.
It just looks like it opened here.
Kathy, where do you have your
It's in an email to Simon and it is brought up, but I can't move this Zoom screen and then drag it and drop it.
Well, I got both of mine in the message. There they are.
Do this.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
We got two new ones, yeah.
Yeah.
If someone who is having problems with it, if you want to text the picture to me,
Oh, yes.
I'll be happy to
Can you do that, Renee?
try. I can put in the chat my telephone number.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. This is Renee's going to try to send that through WeTransfer, and then it would come to the screen here. But I don't want to take up too much time on this. So, John, do
You
you know
have
how to
some.
do you know how to use the?
Yeah, I think I can share my screen if you give me
Okay,
permission.
okay.
Uh, and I was able to get my images open here. Okay, let's see here. Um,
Ah,
Yay.
there's,
okay,
yes.
Oh, nice.
Okay, excellent.
okay. That is can you see that?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
And can
yes,
you
I
see
see it.
that? The
Yes.
Picasso
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and the kiefer. Okay.
Okay, so the kiefer, the way John sent it is on the left, and the Picasso is on the right.
Right.
Okay.
This is an essay in two parts, two chapters. And the first chapter is Anselm Kiefer as artist shaman. And this is my essay. The second part, the second chapter, is the Picasso painting, Demoiselle d'Avignon, and that's me quoting Picasso. These are Picasso's words in the second half of the essay here.
John, just so you know, we can only see the top one. So when you
Yes,
get to the
I
other
can
one, if you
only
wanna,
I sent them as two separate images.
yeah, so
Mhm.
you'll,
So when I
I see,
speak about the
There
Picasso,
we go.
I'll switch to it there.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect.
Okay. But Len, thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, this is a painting by Kiefer. The title is From Hearts and Brains, The Stalks of Night Are Sprouting, done in 2019. Chapter 1. Let me begin with when I first saw the Anselm Kiefer paintings a few weeks ago. I mentioned this, but it triggered my recollection of a dream, which helped me understand Kiefer's work. So, if you'll bear with me here as a preface to my thoughts on Kiefer, I'd like to recount that dream and then go deeper into the art of both Picasso and Kiefer. So, beginning here with the dream. I was in a dark forest. The ground was covered with dead leaves, and slowly at first, but then suddenly, I realized I had committed a terrible crime and was standing where I had hidden the evidence. The dream was so intensely real, I was sick with anxiety, and I needed to cure myself by tracing the dream back to its source, back to a movie I had seen a long time ago, a film noir. Now, Kiefer, for me, creates dreamscapes, beautiful, evocative dreamscapes with mysterious paths that invite you in and lead you back, not to a movie or a fiction, but back to a sobering truth and sometimes an unbearable realization. Kiefer, for me, is an artist shaman. He leverages primordial elements, earth, water, fire, gold, to make memories tactile and mediate on our behalf between our physical world and our subconscious. He mediates to cure us, and his art is a talisman. It empowers us to remember, and by remembering, we begin to heal. Chapter 2, and this sets up a comparison But again, this is Pablo Picasso as artist shaman, and these are Picasso's words. I'm quoting him here.
John,
Yes.
your image is no longer on the screen. It looks like
Yeah, this is hey Rita,
Yeah.
could
I
you
see. What should I do? I don't know. When
just
I connected the way the instructions were from somebody, all of a sudden it came up on the screen and there's no way to shut it off.
So you don't have my image anymore?
No,
no,
Oh,
no.
Oh,
How,
John, if you
John, how,
just share
I'm
again,
going to
it'll
stop
pop up.
share and then try to share again.
share again, yeah.
Okay. Now I should be,
Should be coming now. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
there
yeah,
we go.
yes,
okay.
That demoiselle's back.
yeah,
Good.
Okay.
yeah,
So
that's
chapter
great.
2, and this is the comparative half of things. To quote Picasso, he's conversing here with Francois Gillot, and she's taking down his words. Quote, men had made those masks and other objects for a sacred purpose, a magic purpose, as a kind of mediation between themselves and the unknown hostile forces that surround them, to overcome their fear and horror by giving it form and image. At that moment, I realized what painting was all about. Painting isn't an aesthetic operation. It's a
Yeah,
form of magic designed to be a mediator between this strange, hostile world and us, a way of seizing the power by giving form to our terrors as well as our desires. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon must have come to me that very day, but not at all because of the forms, but because it was my first exorcism painting.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Close quote. Pablo Picasso.
Wow.
really, really well done. Um, when I read your essay, John, which I'm glad you sent to me, I was thinking that the aura in your essay, the
Mhm.
vibration was what I thought the class should be about.
Mm.
That's what I'm looking for. And so when you were on a train very close to the train that I felt was the way to approach art.
Mhm.
And it seems to me that everything follows from that. In other words, you can, if you get that feeling to start with, then what follows is you can look up um, other things about the artist, art
Mm.
historical things,
Mm.
who these people are, um, which countries they came from, what education
Right,
they
right.
had. But the starting point is this.
Was visceral, very
Yeah,
visceral.
yeah, the starting point. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
Lynn kind of got into that in the last conversation.
yeah, and that's great. That's what helps is like you're listening and you're learning, and then you're saying, "Hey, I can listen in that way too. What'll I come up with?"
Mhm.
Um, so Len, you're the next one. Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Hold on. What? You can't change it?
I'm going to stop sharing.
No. Oh, let's see what they can do with this. Uh, oh, okay, Len.
Can you see?
Yes, I can. Yeah, they look great.
Great, great. Okay. On the left, Anselm Kiefer, Eisensteig, 1986. Oil and acrylic on canvas with other materials, 7 feet by 12 feet by 11 inches deep. On the right, Vincent van Gogh, The Night Cafe, 1888. Oil on canvas, 28 by 36 inches. Ghosts don't haunt us. That's not how it works. They're present among us because we won't let them go. Sue Grafton. M is for malice.
Wow.
It is November 1944, and the final trains are arriving at Auschwitz, Birkenau, Dachau. Chug, chug, chug. 1,600 of them traverse the iron path, the Eisensteig, mercilessly on, relentlessly forward. Chug, 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 toward the all too close horizon. It is March 1945, merely 4 months later, and Anselm Kiefer is born in Donaueschingen, Germany. It is 1986, and he has grown into the 41-year-old Kiefer who paints Eisensteig. But to call it a painting understates its vitality. It is a living canvas. Not only a towering 7 by 12 feet, but also 11 inches deep. That depth, an amalgam of olive branches, lead, gold leaf, and emulsion. The iron path that Kiefer births is dirty, dark, obfuscated, overgrown, dead, but not silent. In the horizon lays a stark choice. Turn left for one fate, right for another. The tracks spin us back in time to 1944. A dark thread that threatens to grab us by the ankle and pull us into a black abyss with 6 million ghosts. It is September 1888, and Vincent van Gogh is in debt to Joseph Michel Ginoux and his wife Marie, proprietors of the hotel and Café de la Gare at 30 Place La Marine in Arles, France. The night cafe is open 24 hours, making it a refuge for night prowlers with no money for lodging. Van Gogh describes it as a place of terrible passions. 5 souls haunt the cafe, drunk or hunched over, head in hand as if overcome by the dust of the day. Overhead, 3 spectral lamps emit a morose yellow-green gauze. The floorboards wail with the same sickly pallor. The bar, a pale absinthe, woos the pallid billiard table that casts its dire shadow on the ochre floor, threatening to swallow everyone present, including Monsieur Ginoux, ever the proprietor, in his white coat, welcoming whatever the cat dragged in. Van Gogh gifts the night cafe to Ginoux to settle his debts, and the painting passes through several hands before it is bequeathed to the Yale University Art Gallery. It is 2020, and I stand before it for the first time, dumbfounded by its richness, its dizzying depth, its call to the past. There is no painting in the world, I think to myself, that is so much meant to be seen in the flesh. And I look, I stare at the ghosts, the drunks, the derelicts, Monsieur Ginoux. And I feel Van Gogh standing near the entryway at his easel, feverishly painting. And though they are all ghosts, as we all one day will be, they are each and every one alive.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's superb, really superb. Um, Len, I think last year someone took the class whose name is John Gilstrap, very erudite fellow. And at the end of the class, he sent me a book as a present. And the book is a book on Van Gogh's painting um, of Dr. Gachet. And it's
Wow.
it's such a brilliant book, and I think you would love it. It's written by a woman. Um, I don't have her name in front of me, but it was written in the last maybe I would say 10 or 15 years. And it's a book, a whole book on one painting, and it describes he starts with his doing the painting, and then it goes through all the different people who own the painting. Okay. And it ends with the painting being owned by someone who bought it in who is Japanese, and the painting um, has disappeared.
Mm,
I bought it for millions and millions of dollars, like
mm.
$100 million, and the painting ends up disappearing. It's a fantastic book about what art means. I really recommend it highly. I will send everyone the name of the woman and the name of the book and the publisher uh, when I send the recording. I'll send that. Um,
Let me just say that truly the night cafe, to stand across from it and look at it, it is worth a trip. If you've never been to the Yale University Art Museum to see it, it's the most extraordinary painting,
hmm.
and it is just destroyed by a two-dimensional image like this. It's so different. I can't even begin to articulate.
Yeah, that's terrific. What very well said. Um, Everyone takes a different tact in what they write or what they say. Um, so, that's just the way it is. And um, and previously I described the tact as being
I'm gonna write it.
your way of seeing, not you, but everyone. And the idea is to get your writing to be the best possible prism that can be you, that can be you. So you know, it's not the same for every person, but your voice comes through very clearly, and it's great. It's really great. Um, so Anne Marie,
I have the Microsoft Word document with the two paintings. Len, did you go to more?
No, there's
Docs?
the green share button at the bottom.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And after that, you want to click on, I think it's the upper left rectangle. And then you want to make sure that you bring up the image in front of you, and then we should be able to see it.
Your file has to be open for it to
Yes, it's
share.
open.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I'm
So
getting.
right now you're not sharing though,
All
because you're
right.
not.
I don't want, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not getting
click the share button at the bottom,
it. Share, okay.
and then click on one of the upper left rectangle, I think ought to do it.
Where it says whiteboard or docs?
You should see your screen.
Screens? Oh, okay.
You should see an image of your file, and then you click that.
Oh, yeah, it's not coming through.
No, mine neither.
No, it's not coming through.
Why don't you just
Right.
why don't you just describe the left
Well, I
hand?
have it in the chat. So if you go to the chat,
Yeah.
AM would be me, Anne Marie. The two images is of
Oh, there they are. Yeah.
Kiefer
Okay.
staring at the
Starry Night and Starry Night.
and, and
No,
no, the Kiefer. They're both Kiefers.
right.
One is him staring up at the sky with the stars, infinity, and the other is him in the same position but now looking up at the sunflowers.
Right.
Yes, yes, I remember these.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So these two, the sunflower one is called the Orders of the Night, 1996, oil, emulsion, acrylic, straw, and lead, and it's 12 feet by 15. And then the other is the Renowned Orders of the Night. That one is done in 1997.
Anne Marie, is it possible for you to sit back a bit? Yeah, yeah, that's it. Is that possible?
Yes.
Okay, because now we could see your whole face.
Okay.
Even sit back even a little more. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
And the Renowned Orders of the Night is acrylic and emulsion on canvas. So I started off with the prompt, does the artist take you to a different place to reflect on? And this is my response. I am taken to a place of natural wonder. A man lying down on the hard ground, looking up at the tall sunflowers and stars permeating dark space. The stars are infinite, and the sunflower seeds are as numerous as the stars. Kiefer was inspired by an Elizabethan astrologer named Robert Flood, who believed that for every plant on Earth, there was a corresponding star in the sky. Perhaps Van Gogh was also inspired by this relationship of sunflowers to the starry, starry night. I experience infinity looking at these paintings. The vast sky, the large sunflowers, they stimulate thought, which is a key element in Kiefer's work. I also experience hope. This is one reason why I am so drawn to Kiefer's paintings. Hope feeds off the darkness. Looking up at what is above and beyond one's view indicates a yearning for something more. And that's my essay.
That's great.
Great.
That's beautiful.
Really terrific. Spell the name of the writer that influenced him.
Robert Flood, F-L-U-D-D.
Right.
Okay.
He was an astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rich, you go.
Where's Rich?
Maybe he stepped
Isn't there?
for a second. We'll come back to him then. Carol.
Okay. My paintings are in the chat as well. CG. They're right after Anne Marie's. Okay.
Which two are they?
They're CG. They're the two.
Ah, got it.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Got it.
All right. The top painting should have been the one on the left. Okay. The painting on the left, Deutschland's Geisteshelden, which is Germany's spiritual heroes, was painted by Kiefer. These are obviously two Kiefer paintings. It was painted in 1973. It's 10 feet by 24 feet and is oil and charcoal on 6 strips of burlap mounted on canvas, and it's in the Broad Museum. The second painting is Aschenblume, or the ash flower, which was painted over a period of 15 years from 1983 to 97. It's 13 by 25 feet and is oil, emulsion, acrylic, clay, ash, earth, probably five other things, and dried sunflower on canvas. It's in the Museum of Modern Art in Fort Worth, which, by the way, had to reinforce the wall to hold the painting.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, both of these paintings depict large halls, and at first glance, Ash and Bloom could be a further destroyed version of the first painting, but each is based on a different structure. Deutschland's Geistesscheiden, I hope that's pronounced right, is said to be an amalgam of Kiefer's former studio and Hall, a German hunting lodge used to store looted art during the Nazi era. There are torches lighting the hall, which looks as if it's already been singed by fire, and it is empty except that the names of German artists and writers that Kiefer admired, the spiritual heroes, are written all along the floor. Aschenblum is based on the neoclassical Mosaic Hall in the Chancellery Building, which was designed by Albert Speer. It was designed to show off Hitler as the permanent ultimate authority. It's difficult, but it's necessary to imagine standing in front of each of these paintings. It's like being in these rooms, surrounded by them, as the paintings have similar perspectives. While they're both states of ruins, Kiefer, who was born in 1945, has said that he was born in ruins, and ruins are a beginning, a starting point for something new, not an end. Each of these halls is a symbol of the Nazi era, and Kiefer believes that to move forward, you must examine the past. The lodge hall torches could easily burn the hall, made totally of wood. By the way, the depiction of the wood is just exceptional. Every stroke, every line to make sure that we're looking at real wood. But it also feels to me like a train could be coming into the hall from the far end. It's not what Kiefer meant, but it is this sense of movement and transformation that I feel from the painting. Aschenblum is a remarkable work. The emulsion he created was layered onto the canvas. It then took a year to dry before he could work on it again. And the impasto of the surface is so thick and chunky that when the painting is moved, pieces of the surface break off, which is okay with him. You have to think of the importance of this painting that Kiefer would work on it for 15 years. It is both the destruction of one of the most emblematic places in the Third Reich and the beginning of a rebirth. The ash flower is an upside down, dead sunflower. The head is an actual sunflower attached to the painting, but a dead sunflower is still spilling its seeds so that they can create a rebirth. While Kiefer's work is fairly abstract, it is also so political that even without the knowledge of what these specific rooms are, as here, you feel we're waiting for a change when you look at them. The Lodge Hall is protecting the artists who became embroiled in the Nazi past so that they'll be known in the present and the future. And the ruins of the ash flower are just waiting for the seeds to sprout the future.
Hmm. No, really terrific. Um,
Well,
you've seen these in person?
No, I want so much to see them in
Yeah,
it was so hard to I mean I was able to get really intense large breakdowns of them on the computer, but still I know I've seen other of his paintings and I know I'm missing so much.
yeah, I've seen actually both of those in
Really.
person, and they're extremely striking and
Oh,
daring. Um,
yeah.
and I'll only say one more thing about this because of time, but it's fascinating that the um, great history paintings and great religious paintings, um, he has reinvented that idea
Mm,
in his mind and
that's very
in
interesting.
his life. So those paintings which were 19th century quote machines, which were the goal of how good you could be as an artist,
Hmm.
then kind of disappeared, and he he reinvented this idea, and it's almost abstract expressionist,
Yeah, yeah,
but
that's what I
but
thought.
I think it's
Quite
not
abstract,
not
but
quite not
no,
quite. Yeah.
no,
No.
wonderful.
Okay. So I still don't know what happened to Rich, but Sylvia, can you read, Sylvia?
I think I can.
Oh, okay. That would be great.
So my the first, if you scroll up in the chat, you will see Starry Night by Kiefer, and you can click on it, and it will fill the screen. At least it does so on my iPad. And so here we go. As the daughter of an anti-fascist who fought against Mussolini, I was instantly drawn to the Kiefer's paintings that are unapologetically attempting to come to terms with the horrors of World War II. But I was very intrigued by Simon's question. When looking at a painting, do we just look at the painting, or is our looking informed by what we know about the painter? Wanting to experiment with just looking, I chose a Starry Night, which seems to me void of references to World War II. There is a meditative quality to Starry Night, which prompted me to try slow looking every evening for 5 minutes or so, 7 nights in a row. So here is what I wrote in chronological order. Day 1. All I can see and respond to are the colors. I have a weakness for the golden blues of the Rinascimento Italiano. Think Giotto and Cimabue. The shade of blue in this painting could be the sky or the sea, or the divine. Once I had a cotton dress in similar colors. Day 2. Much of the painting is occupied by the swirling pattern of the stroke. It gives the painting the illusion of depth, like a spiral that draws you in, but it also has a forceful left to right movement, like an ocean wave heading for the land. Day 3. The only good thing about looking at this painting on my iPad is that I can zoom in and out as I please. If you look very closely to the upper left corner, you see a face or perhaps a mask. True, I had wine with my dinner, but once you see the face, you cannot not see it again. Day 4, I ask, how did Kiefer get all the straw to stick to the canvas? There is a tactile, sensual quality to this painting. I wonder if one could smell the straw. I hope so, it would be amazing. Day 5, I am zooming in on the iPad again and inspect the perimeter of the painting. Here and there, the stroke cannot be contained and finds its way out of the perimeter. Day 6, somewhat in the middle, but a bit on the right side, I notice a small piece of what looks like wood or bamboo. It feels like a period at the end of an elegant sentence. Day 7. I find myself mentally comparing Kiefer's Starry Night to Van Gogh's Starry Night. It saddens me that Van Gogh's beautiful painting captures the view from the window of his asylum room. Kiefer Starry Night has the same swirling pattern smack in the middle. You could say that the swirling is the painting, or at least what gives it the energy. But Kiefer's is huge and monumental, as if he used dynamite to explode Van Gogh's confinement. That's it. Aren't you glad there were only 7 days in my experiment?
uh, Sylvia, you made me think of something. In the New York Times this past Sunday, in the magazine section, there is a very, very, very interesting article about a woman who is a writer in Scandinavia. And she lives, I believe, on an island. I can't remember her name, but the person who wrote the article took like 5 or 6 different means of transportation to get to this island to interview her and speak to her. The most popular book that she wrote is a book in which a person wakes up to a day, goes to sleep, and then wakes up to the same day,
Mm.
then goes to sleep and wakes up to the same day, then goes to sleep, wakes up to the same day. And each day, which is the same day, she sees more in the in the day. And each day she sees more and more in the same day.
That's pretty cool.
And she just keeps going, seeing the same day over and over and over again. But she's seeing more things.
Yeah.
She missed so much. She missed so much. Um, I don't know. I thought that the book, it made me want to read it. It's part of a series of books that she wrote, and that's one of them. Um, okay, so the next one is Kathy.
Firamusca for me.
Yes, Firmaska.
Um, okay, I can share my screen so you see it a little larger.
That's
I know
great.
Sylvia
That's
did
great.
put it in the chat for me, but you're going to see all my emails too. So
Okay.
okay, I didn't know how to crop it. So okay, let me move this up here. All right. Well, it's a little bigger.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent.
Okay. Yeah, I was really pressed for time, so mine's going to be short and sweet and not as in depth as some of the others, not well thought out.
No, that's very good. Fine.
Okay, on the left we have Van Gogh's Starry Night, and on the right is Anselm Kiefer's The Starry Night. Though the imagery is obviously similar, the materials used and the scale of the works are vastly different. Van Gogh's Starry Night is dated 1888 and measures 29 by 36¼ inches. He used oil on canvas, applying the paint with an impasto technique to create a heavily textured, almost three-dimensional surface. This painting was painted from observation, memory, and imagination. It was the view from his window in the asylum, where he was recovering from a mental breakdown. The sky is a turbulent one with a rhythmic, sweeping movement that's balanced by the strong, dark verticals of the cypress tree and the quiet landscape in the distance. Similarly, Kiefer's The Starry Night, dated 2019 and measuring 15.4 feet by 26.6 feet, the same swirling movement of the sky is balanced by the verticals in the lower third of the painting. While Van Gogh's medium was oil, Kiefer's was oil, acrylic, shellac, straw, gold leaf, wood, and wire. In contrast to Van Gogh's color palette, where he beautifully captured the blue hour by using cobalt blue as the dominant color complemented by the golden yellow of the stars, Kiefer's dominant palette has the warm tones of straw and gold leaf, accented with a pale cerulean blue. Van Gogh's work though it's a night sky, is very chromatic, while Kiefer's is somewhat lower in chroma. In the work of both artists, the paintings are highly textured and sculptural. Both men explored the mystery of the night sky, perhaps in a personal search for the divine. That's
Okay, okay, this is great. Uh, and quite a number of years ago, for the first book on my work, um, an art historian named Albert Boime, Boime, interviewed me for a long essay that he wrote. If you look in those books on my work, you'll see that his essay. He's a very interesting man, and he had a theory that the Van Gogh painting was actually something he saw. And he went back and he tried to research the weather formation and the clouds and certain aspects of astronomy to find what happened in that year when he painted that painting.
interesting.
It's a fascinating idea that he went back to do all that. In terms of his interview with me, I spoke to him about certain books that I thought were very interesting and that influenced me. And one of the books was a book called Martin Eden by Jack London. And one day when I was speaking to him on the phone, the Albert Boehm, he said to me that he's just started to read Martin Eden, which I thought was simply amazing. So he read that book, and because I read it, he read it. Anyway, the next one is Anna.
So I also put mine in the chat. So AA, down at the bottom, the last two. Let me find my essay. Okay, here I go. Two images of bedrooms. One, a frame among many in William Kentrick's film Felix in Exile, created in 1994. The other, Van Gogh's famous bedroom in Arles, painted more than 100 years earlier in 1888. This is the first of three paintings of this room. Despite the different centuries, the different mediums, and most importantly, the different purposes of these two bedroom scenes, there are some striking similarities. Both images include the artist's work upon the wall. Kentrick's are mostly landscapes, all related to the story being told in Felix in Exile, while those of Van Gogh include self-portraits as well as a landscape. The other similarity is around each artist's approach to the work. Kentrick's primary medium is charcoal, and the beauty of his drawing is in its immediacy and rapid line. He draws and he erases, leaving deliberate smudges throughout. The image in the film go from one to the next, 40 frames in all, but within each, there is a sense of movement and change. We see the artist in his bed, hidden by some kind of briefcase. The bed linen appears rumpled, coexisting appropriately with the many dismissed pieces of paper laying all over the floor. Most striking is the blue line, or is it a wave, running throughout the image. Water overflowing, not only from the faucet, but also from the object in front of the mirror. The accent of the blue travels throughout the scene, culminating in the light bulb hanging above the artist's head. Red sneaks its way into the bedroom, mostly enhancing the many drawings on the walls. We are left wondering about some kind of devastation and the impact of tragedy upon the artist in the bed. Van Gogh's stroke is equally rapid fire, although his tool is the brush and heavily applied oil paint. His fascination is color, and in each of his bedroom paintings, there is practically joy in the blues, browns, reds, yellows, and greens. He seems to delight in the flattening of the walls, the floor, the door, and a range of objects, all painted in a range of colors. The choice of colors is unique and most likely reflects a mood rather than the actual colors that he sees. Van Gogh uses an impasto technique, applying the paint thickly and with assurance. The brushstroke is clearly visible, resulting in an enticing but simultaneously nervous view of a bedroom, a place for rest and restoration. His goal is different from Kentridge's. Kentridge is telling a story of apartheid and trauma. Van Gogh is conveying the importance of a home. The room in the yellow house is the one he will stay in while he lives in Arles. The painting conveys the comfort of the bedroom. Kentra's bedroom is actually in a hotel. And although in this scene the artist is under the covers working away, the room cannot eliminate the chaos beyond. The chaos has entered into the bedroom via the disarray, the scattered drawings, the art upon the wall, and of course, the blue water that appears ready to cause damage. Van Gogh's bedroom is the place where he relaxes, where he recuperates from illness, but ultimately, it too conveys that sense of chaos, if only because Van Gogh's sleep, perhaps, is disturbed by dreams.
Just terrific.
Wow.
Uh, when Renee and I were preparing this, which seems like weeks ago, but it was today, Renee said that you should say something about Van Gogh's bedroom. Okay. And I knew what she meant, so I want to tell you this. It won't take very long. Um, and it changed my life. This is a change my life story. So we went on I had a grant to go and study in Germany, and was great, very exciting, but it didn't provide you housing. Um, and so we made a circle around the city of Kassel, where the art school was, of about 50 miles. And we had a car and we drove all around these 50 miles. And one day we came into a town. The name of the town is perfect. It was called Rabelshausen. Rabelshausen, like something like Rabaldhausen. And in this town, they had kind of certain kind of housing in which at the bottom of like a four-story house, there were cattle from the farm. And then you went in and you went up uh, two or three flights of stairs above where the cattle were. And the owner of this place was going to rent this apartment to us, and we hadn't really a lot of difficulty finding a place. So we got up to the second or third floor, and he opened the door, and on the other side of the door was Van Gogh's bedroom. Okay, he opens the door, and there it is, Van Gogh's bedroom. And I say to Renee, this is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. This is where we should stay. And Renee looks at me and she says, you can stay here, but I'm not going to stay here. Okay? You can stay here. So if I had gotten my way, I wouldn't have done my triptych. I would have done other things. I would be stuck in Van Gogh's bedroom. Bed, uh, so I thought Renee said, tell them about that. Um, okay, the next person is Rita.
Okay, let's see if I can. I think, let's see, I shared it before. Let's see how I do that. Okay, do you see it?
I don't see it.
Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes, I see the kiefer.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the neck, and then if you slide to the left, you see the other one. So I'll start with the kiefer. The breaking of the vessels. We pause to learn the backstory. It eases our way into Anselm Kiefer's installation. It reveals the context and his intent, but it does not prepare us to stand at this massive altar of burnt offerings and experience the intensity of his art. Using the powerful motif of knowledge, Kiefer's sculptural depiction of Kristallnacht creates a dreadful silence with towering compressed volumes and leaden pages and a disappeared humanity. It is a repository of biblical good and evil, of Judaic mysticism, of Nazi atrocity, destroyed yet miraculously preserved, seared into and weighing on our consciences for eternity. It is a wrenching reminder of the Holocaust and its acrid ovens, of the sacked libraries of antiquity, of the Dark Ages, and of our own demons. But it also offers the unexpected spiritual optimism of, quote, infinite light in the inscription floating above it all. The context, the intent, is only our entry point. We spread our wings and take off from there. How many Holocausts have we since witnessed? How many books banned? How much knowledge shattered? How many cultures annihilated? And yet, we stand. Even in the age of Kindle, these charred books reminders of both our inhumanity and our humanity, preserved in immutable metal, resonate. We let the art transport us to hell and back. And that's it for that one. And then if you go to Simon's drawing, can you see that on the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. This is called Night. Simon has written an essay that distills the essence of this drawing. Context and intent enrich our experience, but even without explanation, we recognize the enchantment and uneasy innocence here as the children play a game of disguises. Simon captures in gentle pastel tints the guileless whimsy and insecurity of childhood, with boxy paper bag masks barely hiding curious eyes, with fingers in mouths, and with the dusky vampires and ghouls of storybooks. Set against the rim of a curved horizon, dimly lit, this dreamscape, this nightscape, is the children's private world. It once was our world, too. The moon is behind them, yet their partly obscured faces are filled with light. Is dawn approaching, or are their faces illuminated by their inner glow? The humble masks, a compelling thematic element, are both protective and vaguely spooky all at once, offering a hiding place from the demons lurking in the shadows, forming a delicate border between make-believe and reality, between otherworldly and worldly, between child and adult. Night terrors are scary, but the kitties are safe in their charming paper cocoons
Mm,
while longer.
mm, mm. Um, so, mm, far be it from me to comment on Rita's prose style, but one thing that occurs to me, which you might find interesting, is the use of irony and betweenness, or I guess what you'd call liminality. Um, Kiefer, uh, a dreadful silence destroyed but miraculously preserved. Books, inhumanity and humanity. Um, Uneasy innocence, guileless whimsy, and insecurity of childhood. Um, there's a very interesting way of thinking of juxtapositions. Um, and the only other thing I can think of is in my picture on in the area above the children, there is a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At the end of the class, I'm going to ask a question about this horse. If anyone, I'm going to give my royal imaginary cigar to the person who could answer this question. Where does that skeleton and horse come from?
Hmm.
Where does that skeleton and horse come from? If anyone could guess that, they get my imaginary cigar. Um, one more pop look at this, and Kristen.
Let me see if I can share. Oh, goodness. After suggesting it, let's see.
Take your time, Kristen. I'm afraid to touch the computer. I think if I touch it, it'll blow up.
I might not be able to because I am on a school computer
Oh,
and I have to modify settings and it won't let me. So I'm going to drop them in the chat. Um, all right, let me do this quickly. Sorry about that. Okay. Comes one. Let's see if it goes. Come on. Try a second thing. Oh, nothing's dropping in. I should have tried it earlier. Oh, here we go. There's one. Let's see if you can open one of those in the chat. Does anyone see that? Here
Yeah.
it comes. Okay. And number two. All right. Can you see those?
It's telling us to download.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're
it's
in there.
it's Kiefer's Sunflowers with the
Yep.
man.
Two different sunflowers by Kiefer. I'll just go ahead and start and hopefully you can see them. And I'll preface this with saying that normally I really try to not let myself be informed about what we know about the painter, and I could not help but do that this time. Like Sylvia was mentioning, how informed are we? And we've talked about it. I just couldn't.
I would like to just interrupt and say I agree. I try to do the same thing myself.
Yeah, and I think after watching the movie Anselm, I couldn't stop thinking about him.
It's quite a movie, I think.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
really quite a movie.
Yeah. So I am going to dive in with words that are not my own. Sunflower, weary of time, who countest the steps of the sun, seeking after that sweet golden clime, where the traveler's journey is done, where the youth pined away with desire, and the pale virgin shrouded in snow arise from their graves and aspire, where my sunflower wishes to go. By William Blake, published in 1794.
Wow, wow.
Sunflowers have a distinct season from seed to death, and then a rejuvenation again rejuvenation again and again after the new seeds germinate. The sunflower takes a little more than 100 days to complete a full cycle. Perhaps part of the reason humans are fascinated with sunflowers is that this transformation from sprout to glorious and oversized bloom and then to life's end is so fast and complete, full yet fleeting. Sunflowers turn their blossoms toward the light, toward the sun, seeking it. Humans, too, are often drawn to light. Anselm Kiefer frequently chose sunflowers as the subject for his paintings. According to the Van Gogh Museum, Van Gogh painted the sunflowers of his doing to symbolize gratitude, and he wanted to be known as the painter who painted sunflowers. One could assume that given Kiefer's interest in Van Gogh, that may have contributed to his desire to paint sunflowers as well. Kiefer's paintings of sunflowers are not beautiful in the same way that Van Gogh's sunflowers are bright, buoyant, and captivating, and yet the settings that Kiefer creates in his sunflower scenes are incredibly beautiful. In the massive painting, The Orders of the Night, which is 11 feet by 16 feet, the sunflowers are the dominant subject, but not the only one. The flowers, though in the apparent prime of their life, are dark and heavy, but still they are surrounded by light. The grayness and muted golds and whites of the palette of the entire painting feels gloomy and dark, yet there is a foggy brightness, glowing light surrounding everything. It is difficult to pull out whether gloom or hope is the point of this scene. Perhaps the struggle between peace and fear exists here. Are the dark flower heads looming over or protective of Kiefer, whose still figure lays below? Perhaps the latter seems more appropriate, as Kiefer appears to be in a position of calm stillness, of peace, engulfed in a world that feels solitary, as if he will be lifted up by the light or the sunflowers themselves. In the movie Anselm, Kiefer appears to thrive inside worlds, either the natural world or worlds of his own making, where he is completely surrounded by a peaceful, introspective ambiance that allows him to continue imagining and recreating the world itself in his mind and in his art. Here has he planted himself in a desired state of warmth and lightness, either in this world or perhaps moving into the next, into what he imagines is the transient nature of life. Nearly 20 years later, Kiefer painted for William Blake another painting of sunflowers, which is almost half the size and with very different energy. Kiefer devotes great scale and significance to the sunflowers themselves. They are entirely the focus here. Much of the sunflower life cycle is indicated in this painting. Some flowers are still thriving, others are at their end. There is fullness of life in the glimpses of bright green leaves that cling to the still strong stalks, the vibrant yellows and oranges of many remaining petals. Yet the sunflowers are also moving near their end with what appears to be rot beginning to form in the very dark centers and perhaps seeds raining down to the ground to begin a new cycle over again. Much has been written about the meaning of William Blake's poem, Ah, Sunflower, for which Blake also created artwork to accompany his poem. Kiefer has inscribed for William Blake and Sweet Golden Clime on this painting, indicating that it is a gift to Blake in response to Blake's poem. In the poem are the lines, seeking after that sweet golden clime, where the traveler's journey is done. Those lines may infer the desire for humans, for Kiefer, to look toward an afterlife, a lighter place. The contrast of the glowing gold paint the glowing gold paint with the thick blackness of the paint at the center of the sunflowers, particularly the ones in the upper portion that have lost nearly all of their petals. Close to death, that is a contrast with the bright, shimmery golden hue at the top of this painting. Maybe that is a vision of light after death, or rebirth and continuation of the life cycle. Kiefer even used ash as a material in this work, maybe as a nod to the sunflower or the human body returning to the earth when the journey is over. In the movie Anselm, as Kiefer wrote on the wall the unbearable lightness of being, he then said, "People search for lightness because they shy away from burdens, the abyss. Fundamentally, they don't want to see it. That's why this lightness exists. Then what we are is not even a drop in the rain. Then you can obviously say we are very light, the unbearable lightness of being. Being is an absolute, part of nothing. They are tied together." In both of these paintings, Kiefer drives us to see the lightness, even in the midst of the dark.
Hmm. You know, I couldn't help thinking when you were reading that you should um, you should write about your students and about
Mhm.
other pieces of art that you look at. Keep a journal because you the writing is a collection of your precious thoughts, and it's just beautiful, and it's really worth keeping. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, no, really. I think it's exceptional. Um, um,
Thanks.
so the next one is Ron. You have to unmute.
Bottom left.
Okay, I'm not going to try to upload anything, but simply show things on the screen. I'll hold up a laptop. I'm trying to get close here because I know my mic isn't very, very loud.
No, no, we could hear you. I could hear
I have,
you.
oh, good, thank you. My essay has a grandiose title, Works That Move and Don't, The Mobility and Mortality of Works of Art. The two works I've chosen both reside in the National Gallery of Art here in our nation's capital. The image on the left is Roses by Vincent van Gogh, and I'll show that to you, painted in 1890 during his frenetic last weeks in the asylum. It's painted in oil on canvas, approximately 2 by 3 feet in size, and has a provenance as active and colorful as its lush and thick brushwork. You may recognize this one from many art books, and this is the roses, white roses. The vase of densely packed blossoms is surrounded by a nimbus of cirrus cloud-like brushstrokes. Like a magnetic field traced by iron filings, these strokes beckon the discarded stems lying on the shelf into the vase with their siblings. The discarded roses provide an element of imbalance and transience to what might otherwise have been a cliched and static composition. The arranger of the flowers, like the artist, needs to know when to quit. We used to visit the gallery with children and like to ask them, are those roses really white? The close examination, which I'll show you a picture of, which is a close-up that I made in the gallery. A close-up of the brushwork here. An examination. We used to ask the kids, are those roses really white? And of course, when you look closely at them, Van Gogh's precision as well as his dynamism and mastery of color is evident, and they're certainly very far from white. They're a tremendous range of color. It commemorates for all time the exhilaration of gathering in the beauty of the garden and arranging that harvest in artful ways. The other image, which is the kiefer, let me bring that up and show that to you. It's not one that we've seen. Is this image here. And it's quite a large and complex creation, also in the National Gallery. The image on the right is called Zimzoom by Anselm Kiefer, produced 100 years after the Van Gogh. It's created of acrylic, emulsion, crayon, shellac, ashes, and canvas on lead. It's approximately 12 by 18 feet in size, 6 times the dimensions of the Van Gogh. It was acquired by the National Gallery in 1991, the year after its creation. I describe it as an expanse of leaden panels which frame a landscape-like vision suggestive of a pool of icy water in a muddy, fallow, wintry field. The title is derived from Zimzoom, the Kabbalistic name of a mystical space into which God withdrew in order to contemplate the creation of the universe. I associated Kiefer's landscape with the disastrous fate on the Eastern Front of a Nazi army of almost 4 million soldiers in the bitter winter of 1941 and 42. If so, the title seems ironic in the extreme. The additional irony is that the fate of Kiefer's Zimzoom at the National Gallery. While you can visit the Van Gogh's roses any day except Christmas and New Year's, once the exhibition of the Kiefer ended, the prospect of dismantling and preserving the work became so daunting that it was decided simply to leave it in place and build a wall in front of it. It's remained sequestered in this way for many years. I recently saw a distinguished retired curator near tears, wondering if he might ever see the Kiefer in his lifetime again. During an earnest and self-abnegating phase of his life, Van Gogh became disillusioned and demoralized by his failure to foster goodness in others' souls and actions. He turned to dedicate himself to pursuing new ways of capturing the daily beauties of the world, as well as the meaning and generous folks that he encountered in it. Kiefer has not yet given up the task of proselytizing. To the extent that his work attempts to provide an antidote to the denial of a nation's collective memory, it performs this in a paradoxical way, confronting his viewers with iconic, monumental souvenirs of such scale and gravity as to mimic the grandiosity of the regime which he is condemning. As with the case of the National Gallery, his penchant for concocting toxic elements and evanescent materials may eventually doom his creations to exile or oblivion. I think of works of art as having lives. In order to survive, they have to have aspects of appeal that's universal and durable, as well as be fabricated in a manageable way to allow for preservation and mobility. Van Gogh's works have thrived. I wonder how well Kiefer's will. Simon asked me, I'd sent him an email following the session where we were asked to watch the films, and I watched the Anselm film. I was very impressed with the filmmaking, and apparently it was originally created in 3D. You could look at it through glasses and add to the experience. But my sense is that as he has evolved, that his ideas have not kept up with the massive resources that he's assimilated. And he is known as one of the wealthiest people in Germany as a result of his tremendous success. So I commented to Simon, that I thought that Kiefer is an artist whose means have outstripped his creativity, while Van Gogh, as an artist, is a person whose creativity outstripped his means.
Hmm. So by means, you mean wealth, or
Well, I mean the creative tools, that is the capacity to take the ideas and the creativity and to create an object. Because Van Gogh was limited to the materials that he had on hand, even though his capacity to create seemed to be quite astonishing and beyond that.
so you're saying that with Kiefer, all the different means are ahead of his ideas.
I think that that they're ahead of his ideas, that his capacity to create is greater than his imagination to create. I think a lot of his later work strikes me as somewhat trivial and derivative of his own prior successes. And the things that he did in his prime, I think, are quite amazing.
It's very interesting. Let's go on to Mary, and Mary's the last one.
And I'm going to see if I can put it in the chat, the two pictures, because I was sort of, let me see if I can get this. I don't know if I can get it to cooperate here. Hang on. A little patient. Okay. That's the first image. And this is the second one. So I wrote Simon, I was kind of saying, I don't think I can pull together an essay. And so I wrote him this letter, and then he said, why don't you read the letter with the pictures, and I'll read you his reply. So I wrote to him Simon, I completely enjoyed your triptych accompanying by Dean's superb score. Really fantastic. You cracked me up last week saying I was a bit like a shill. Simon told me I was like a shill on the Coney Island boardwalk regarding his work and presentations, and because I was saying how much I enjoyed the pairing of the Van Gogh and the Kiefer pictures. And I said, I think I know what you meant by that. You sense my curiosity and excitement in learning and understanding more about art and how this fulfills a lifelong quest for truth and beauty. I have thought a lot about the artists and work we studied in this latest class, as well as in the past. Felix Nussbaum keeps coming back to me. The painful beauty of his work is reflection on the Holocaust and horrors beyond imagining. Anselm Kiefer's work revisits the harrowing nightmare 70 years later. His reckoning is apocalyptic, conveying unspeakable terror, but also painfully beautiful. How do we make peace with the history without perpetual reenactment in the world? I'm unable to pull together a coherent presentation on the multiple ideas that this class has kindled, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity to join the group and have my mind and heart opened in new ways. Belated Thanksgiving to you and Renee. And then Simon wrote back, hello, Mary. Thanks for your stunning note. I have an idea. Why don't you send me the two images, Nussbaum and Kiefer, and then simply read the letter verbatim. If the idea of the essay is to get your thoughts down and get the listener to think, perhaps you're not writing the essay for the reasons you describe, is writing the essay. Please let me know what you think. Best wishes, Simon. So that's what I decided to do. I was trying to get out of it, but that's what I got.
Terrific. Rita, could you go back to that picture of mine? Would you mind?
Maybe,
Yeah,
if I can figure
if you
out.
can do it again.
Let's see. see. It was in share. Oh. There it is.
Okay, so for my imaginary cigar, you see that horse there on the top left
Yep.
with a skeleton on the horse, with a skeleton on the horse.
Yep.
Where does that come from? Could someone either raise your hand or say,
Oh, I
tell
think I
me, wait a minute, wait. We got a really smart alecky group here. Let me see. Um, well, I don't know who to call first, but I think I'll start with Rita.
Well, this is a wild guess from Revelations in the Bible.
Oh, no, 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 no. You're too smart for your own good.
Okay.
Okay. John.
A Peter Bruegel painting, one of his apocalyptic
right.
paintings.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yes.
I can't think of the title. It's a end of the world apocalyptic sort of thing.
And do you know where it's located?
Where the horse is located?
No, no, the painting.
Oh, where the painting's located.
Wow.
In Vienna?
No, it's near another painting.
Here in the States, or?
No, no, no.
Isn't it the Prado,
Yes, yes.
the
Yeah.
triumph of that, something like that?
Yes, no, you got it. The Triumph of Death.
Triumph of Death. Yep.
So
Right.
I'm gonna give all my cigars to you three. Did anyone else get that? Did anyone else get that?
Well, Virgil probably got it from somewhere himself. He might have gotten it from the Bible. We have to.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. That's true. You went
You're not wrong.
you went
Yeah.
past the artist to some other point.
So she needs a cigar too.
All of you are getting it. All. I can't see more than three people here, but I really want to just say thank you for a wonderful response to the this particular term, and I've enjoyed this thoroughly, and I hope some of you I will see next term. It would be wonderful, and I couldn't resist Mary's note to me, and I asked her if she could. I actually wrote to her today and asked her if she could write include my note back to her.
Mhm.
So, uh, it, but that's really a nice way to end the class. And I'm sorry about the beginning today, and I'll try to do better. uh,
All's
um,
well that ends well.
yeah, have a happy New Year, and if you're near downtown Brooklyn, where this exhibit is, it used to be the Brooklyn Historical Society, and they renovated this place. I think it's just around the corner from St. Anne's School, and it's at I think 128 Pierpont Street.
Mhm.
Um, anyway, have a very nice New Year and nice holiday and
Thank
everything,
you.
and
Same to
you should
you.
all feel very good, really,
Thank
really.
you, Simon.
Yeah.
Great seminar,
Keep
Simon.
us posted on
Thank you,
upcoming
Simon.
class.
But John,
I said
John.
keep us posted on the spring semester.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll write to you in January.
Okay, very
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care
Bye-bye,
of yourself.
everybody.
Happy
Bye.
holidays,
Thanks, all.
everyone.
Yeah.
Total
Yeah.
enjoyment.
Yeah. I love your. Oh,
Oh,
sorry, Mary. Mary. Oh, Rita.
yes.
Um, very striking. Um, beautifully written.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Simon.
really beautifully written, and amazing pieces of writing. Actually,
Everybody was
amazing,
productive
amazing.
and
I don't know what's going on here. I, it's like voodoo.
yeah.
You know that line from a Cary Grant movie where he says, "I know a man," and the other person says, Rita. The other person says, I know a man, and you say,
What do I say? Who?
what man?
What
What
man?
man? A man with a power. And you say,
What power?
power of voodoo.
Who do?
I know a man.
Oh, maybe you have the power. Who
I
knows?
don't know. I don't know.
We'll
Um,
pick it up next semester.
yeah, have a nice New Year. Really,
Yeah.
really.
Thank Renee, okay?
What? What?
Renee.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes,
Renee saved the day.
very nice to her tonight.
She's great. She's absolutely great. She's um, um, well, I love her to pieces.
Yeah, she's very stress-free, right?
She uh um
Yeah.
have a nice New Year.
Thank you for everything,
Yeah,
Simon.
send my best wishes too.
I will. I
Okay.
will. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.